Recently, Brooke Schofield has been called out for her resurfaced past racist tweets. These tweets were surfacing on internet quite a while now for it wasn't new, but just like any other time, something old goes viral when internet is on fire and right now it was the best time. After whole Clinton and Codico situation on cancelled podcast, the main tweets that people are talking about most is with the Zimmerman. If you don't know, it's basically a police shot a innocent girl on around 2013 times. She was innocent girl going for groceries shopping and she was just shot. Now Brooke constantly tweeted about this situation that if it was a white guy, it wouldn't be a news flash or things like it wasn't about a child cause the kid was at the age of 17 while this happened and she absolutely thought that this wasn't hate crime. So pretty disturbing, dis- disgusting actually, um, tweets about political views or things, and she also joked about Afro girls' hairs, about having napier hair. So pretty bad and racist jokes or tweets, whatever it is. Now, these tweets are from around 2013 when Brooke was in college. Considering that it's also looks very bad as you are a student of college, how could you not be educated about these things? After that, in many instances, she brought up and acknowledged this throughout the years, and I would talk about that. But those didn't got this much attention for a reason too. Now, even now on Brooke's cancel podcast, she mentions a lot about that she used to be very active on Reddit and be on snark subreddits of her and would clap back at people who gossips about her. And to clarify, if you don't know what snark community is, that subreddit created to gossip about and express frustration towards or snark on people like public figures, largely female influencers such as YouTuber and TikToker. So she will be on those communities and talk to those people, and in those instances she addressed and acknowledged the situation fully. I think when someone talked about this and fully posted apologies there, but it was a small community of people, so obviously didn't reach out to many people. Now in her apology she wrote, I hadn't seen the Zimmerman tweets when I wrote about bad jokes, and that obviously could never be dismissed as a bad joke. It was horrible take that I probably wholeheartedly believed at that time. I was wrong. I have spoken openly before about what I was taught growing up versus what I believe now. This is pretty responsible response, I would say, as she didn't just you know dismissed it saying that these are bad jokes. She totally acknowledged that these are not just bad jokes, and she wholeheartedly believed that time, and she now knows that these are wrong. Further, she wrote, growing up, it was just me and my grandpa, an 80-year-old conservative man who played Rush Limbaugh through the house all day. See, I don't know what Rush Limbaugh is, could be something that conservative people does, I don't know. I didn't know anything about politics as a teenager, but I would listen to him and other people around me and piece together these opinions when I truly had no idea what I was talking about. I wanted to feel like I was in the know without doing any actual research, and as ashamed as I am to admit it, I didn't start to understand how wrong a lot of it was until I was an adult. Once I moved to LA and was fully on my own was when I finally started actively learning and began to form my own opinions. Now, she phrased these words so perfectly, like any teenager does the same. Like, if you are a teenager, you looked up to the people you think are nice, good, and genuinely, if your parents, your grandparents, or the people around you could be wrong, but in your eyes will always be nice people if they are nice to you personally, other than the fact how they view the world politically or their what their opinions are. So obviously their opinions matter to you, and I as a teenager did all sort of flexing on politics too when I learned things in bits and pieces from my parents or the people around me, and eventually show my wisdom to my friends circles that yeah, I know about politics too. But still, these are not just any type of excuses, because she wasn't a teenager when she said those. She was on college, but still she is taking accountability. Let's move on to her next 10 sentences. But I understand what a privilege it is to get all the way to adulthood without having a really learn or care about politics. Most people do not have the luxury. And while of course I am grateful to know what I know now, I wish I put in the effort sooner. I'm sorry about the tweets, and I am sorry to everyone who is hurt or disappointed by them. I am too, and I will do better. It's a very nice and compact response, but look at the likes. It was 15 likes in 4 hours. So if it's still up there anywhere, I don't know how much it is viewed now, but still we could assume it was on a very small level of people that could see it. After that, in her old cancelled podcasts, she talked about it and acknowledged it there also. So after everything resurfaced, she again apologized and acknowledged it in TikTok.
Whatever it is. Now, sorry is not enough, in my opinion, for the way that I was tweeting and the things that I was saying online at that time. I know that there's no apology beyond like reparations that can mend that wound. I don't care if I was a teenager, I was old enough to know better. And not only did I choose to say those things, I chose to say those things on a public platform, and I am very, very ashamed of it. Especially sorry to those who were affected in.
Back in 2020, she posted about protest in Hollywood in Facebook. Now, obviously, our generation doesn't really use Facebook. Like, if anyone does, I think it's for website purposes or like beyond to with the family members. But if you read on to her post, it clearly resonates that she was hitting on some known people, not for her fans. Thought I would share a few photos from a very peaceful protest in Hollywood this afternoon, as well as a few photos that have really resonates with me over the last few days. Although I have a much larger audience on my other social media platforms, most people my own age don't need to be convinced that racism is wrong. One of the real turning points in early adulthood was the moment I realized that even the people you look up to your whole life can be wrong about many things, and they most likely are. So, this post is intended to encourage all my distant relatives and weirdly racist former classmates to turn off the news and do some real research, because this is a lot more than a bunch of misfits breaking windows and looting stores. What's going on right now is really special, and you should be ashamed to not be part of it. See, I think I am fully convinced that she has changed over the years. Like, if she wanted, she could have posted in her bigger social media platforms to gain, interaction, to gain what you say is validation, because she could have from her this post, and she didn't. She posted on her Facebook, and clearly it is stated that she's just hitting on some known people like relatives and some former classmates. And again she says like she is grown out of it, and we could see that people she looked up to was most likely are having some, have had some bad opinions. And when you are in beginning of life, they are the people you look up to, so it's very easy to resonate with you, with them. But over the years, it's up to you if you want to change or not. And she did, she fully did, and I am fully convinced. Now what she tweeted still are disgusting, and if you want to forgive her or not is totally depends person to person. I won't say anything on it. But for me, being a person of color, I would not necessarily cancel someone for 10-year-old tweets, which the person totally takes responsibility for. Because we need people to advocate how their thoughts changed over the years to next generation, having the idea that that's the right thing to do. And they are very big influencers who have very very big followings, who could show people that yes, that's how I am changed, and you need to change too. But right now if we cancel her for her old tweets, the whole message goes that I don't know where you are, I don't know what you are doing. If you have those thoughts, you're gonna be cancelled. But if we right now give her chance, the message goes that if you change, your thought process is changed. If you think openly, that's the good thing to do. The next thing comes to Tana. After Brooke posted apology on TikTok, she commented, "We grew up bad. I love you, and growth from it is the biggest form of prevailing." Now, this is her first thought process, or I would say reaction after the backlash. And after that, she got hate on her phrasing, so she deleted it eventually and came to podcast and stated this.
The canceled podcast. Obviously, as you guys can see, I am alone on this couch. Brooke is not here with us today, and I want to be abundantly clear that that was my decision. We all saw the tweets, and they're fucked up and they're horrific, and I'm saying that as a white person, right? Like, I cannot even imagine, honest with you guys about that. When Brooke made her first apology video, I commented on it and I said, "We grew up bad. I love you." And immediately regretted it so hard. Realized how stupid it was for me to say that. I'm going to beat myself up for that forever, quite frankly. It's not my.
Now, of course, netizens picked up, as everyone knows, Dana's past tweets and hard racial slurs.
Impression of a black girl on joining Chocolate Bunny.
Chocolate Bunny. Girl, please.
I mean, if you're gonna come out and address something, why act all virtuous and saint while pushing your friend under the bus? Well, while you have the same past, the past talk about your past actions, address those. Have you totally forgotten those? The things you have done too, and how she's said that things Brooke did isn't is unacceptable. So she decided to not have her in the podcast, while she knew from the beginning about Brooke's tweets, and she also joked about her own tweets about those same topic, and they talked about in their cancel podcast a long ago, while they had those old format of their podcast. And if you go, it's still there. As I said earlier, Brooke acknowledged it there also. So she knew that Brooke had those tweets, and she also does, but still she just chose to not speak about those. This hate is totally justified. Yours were much worse than Brooke, and you never took accountability, Tana, for those. Now, when podcast AdSense and sponsors on the line, you gave a bad PR statement to save your back. Even now that she totally ignore her accents, as people gonna forget the whole thing, feels so fake. She's totally being hypocrite. Like, be freaking real. Right now she can't even apologize, can't, cause she pretended that she's all clean and pure. She never did those things, like it never existed. She pretended like that, and now if she apologize, if she comes out, it's gonna look much worse. And let me know what's your thought on this. Comment down below what do you think about this whole situation about Tana and Brooke. That's it for the video. Subscribe for more videos like this. Bye bye.